Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It's great to be with you guys today. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Christmas. And if you haven't celebrated your event yet, whether it's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatever, may peace be with you. So excited to be with you guys today. And man, the whole time I was just like, man, you know what? Like, how do I, this idea of like presents and gifts and all that stuff. And it was just like, man, let's freaking do a mock draft. What are the presents that the 49ers can receive, or at least our fans? Well, we're going to get 11 of them. Now, perhaps not full 11. If you look at the compensation pick value, currently the 49ers are projected to get 11 picks currently. Now that could bump down to 10 because, there's average per year, the salary that players get, there's playing time, and then there's postseason awards. And so the 49ers are currently slated to get an additional 4th rounder and 2 7th rounders with the player compensation. You're also supposed to get an additional 3rd rounder with the D'Amico Ryans Rand Carthon hire from 3 years ago. The last one of those that the 49ers probably are going to get in a long time, because I don't see anybody getting poached from us anytime soon. Probably going to be the opposite of that. So currently the 49ers are projected to get 11. That's right. This one goes to 11 draft picks. And so we'll kind of see how that goes. Now we're going to be using the NFL mock draft database today, which we have not used that one before this year on the show. We've been doing PFF, but I want to give a little bit of a different look. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's come out, all the hashtag CCs. You guys are the best. What's up, Russ? Appreciate you guys. You are awesome. Bobo, he said, should we just sit everyone and lose the rest of the way to get a top 10 pick after another disappointing year? I do not believe so. Now, sadly, with the injuries, you can't really move anybody around on the offensive line. Everybody's got to play there that you have suited up. I mean, you're literally poaching players off of other people's practice squad to just fill a roster. You've got multiple stacked injuries on the offensive line and defensive line. And so that kind of kills you right there. That's the killer. So I don't think that you bench players, but you definitely put an emphasis on youth and rotation. Nothing you do as far as playoffs go, that's done. That ship sailed before the game last week. So you make sure your youngsters are getting snaps. Jacob Cowing, Ricky Pearsall, those types of guys that perhaps haven't played very much, you let them get snaps. Evan Anderson, right? Sam O, those types of guys. They're the ones that need to be getting the extra snaps and all those things. So that's what we want. What's up, Mike? How we doing, man? I like this. Yay, more mock drafts. I love it. Since our season is no fun. That's the thing. We're focusing on the future right now. Rusty, 11 O-line picks. Can we draft the special teams coach? You can trade a pick for one. I want Bones Fossil, man. That's who I want. He's the Cowboys guy. I hate the Cowboys, but that dude's awesome. Monkey Boy, we kind of wasted those comp picks so far. Got to make the last one count. Yeah, we have not hit on any of those. That is so true. Right here, Paul, I need Brock to throw a couple touchdowns to Debo on Monday, but sit anyone and everyone on the defense who they want to build around next year, play the kids. Yes, that's what I want as well. What's up, Kim? Happy holidays from Denmark, my friend. So great to see you. He's so awesome. It's been too long since we've been together, brother. Hopefully sometime soon. So without further ado, let's do it. We're going to be using mock draft database. We're picking for the 49ers, all 7 rounds. Oh, we're going fast. So let's enter that draft room. Let's go. Let's see if it's going to work. There we go. Let me knock that down. Too many ads. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to trade up in the first round. We might do some trades, but we're going fast. We're doing all 7 rounds. So we're just going to zoom down to the 11th pick. Now, for those of you that I get a lot of questions, man, how high can the 49ers draft if they lose out? I think the ceiling is pick 10. I think that's the best draft position you can get if you lose out. You're 2 games away from pick 9. So you would have to lose 2 games, and a really, really bad team would have to win 2 games. Then you tied go to strength of schedule. We're not going to win that one. We're going to lose out on that one. So I think 10, New Orleans is as high as you can get. And I think the low end, let's say the 49ers win the last 2 games, which is what I want to happen. I think you'd be picking around 15. So that 10 to 15 range currently where the 49ers sit is pick 11. So that's where we're at currently. So here we go. Let's look at just who all went. Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Will Johnson, Abdul Carter, Tet McMillan, Mason Graham went. So the 49ers, we're on the clock. Kelvin Banks went as well. All right, Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU, is there. Now, I just finished, before I recorded this, did my very first Will Campbell draft breakdown over on the 49ersrush.com and our Patreon page. That's loading currently, so you can't go check it out now. Once this episode's done, I'll have it posted there. So check back in about an hour. That'll be up. I'm going to be very honest with you. I like Will Campbell a lot. I think that he's kind of a lock to be a top 10 pick. I didn't like his tape near as much as I thought. I watched him versus Ole Miss, and he played against Jared Ivey, who I think is a 3rd or 4th round defensive end. They didn't go against each other very much. They were kind of smart with him. But I really, really do like Will Campbell. I do not like him as much as Banks. And so, with mock drafts, it's always kind of weird with who goes first and all that stuff. And we're way before the combine. But Will Campbell is kind of the consensus number 1 tackle. He's not mine. He's my number 2. Now, if you run a power scheme and a gap scheme, you're probably going to like Will Campbell out of LSU more than Kelvin Banks. 6'6", 324 is Will Campbell. He's 21 years old. He's got 38 left tackle games started at left tackle. I mean, he's played a lot, and he's young. But there was a lot that I wasn't a big fan of. I thought his hand placement was really, really poor consistently. Constantly getting his hands chopped and knocked off, hands always up top. So with 6'6" players, a little bit of a concern. But his feet were impeccable. His strength and power and violence way past that of Kelvin Banks. That's why I think Will Campbell, there's going to be a lot of gap power schemes. Look at that. I haven't even had any eggnog. That are going to like Will Campbell more than Banks. And I think a lot of zone teams are going to like Banks more than Campbell. But you can't go wrong with either one. I do think that he's a very, very clean prospect with a very, very high ceiling. And so the fact that he's there over Kelvin Banks, I think that's a possibility. Now, all likelihood, I do believe that both tackles will be gone when the Niners are picking. And I think that this is one of those guys you have to throw in a 3rd round pick to jump up a spot or 2 if they fall. But man, Will Campbell would be a steal. Mikael Williams is there, the edge out of Georgia. I think he makes a lot of sense. I'm not going Ashton Gentry. I know a lot of people, I get a lot of those emails. That's all I'm saying. Malachi Starks, Nick Scorton, Jalen Walker, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Warren, all there. So go ahead and throw in the chat who you guys would want. Will Campbell, offensive tackle LSU, edge Mikael Williams, Ashton Gentry, safety Malachi Starks, edge Nick Scorton, linebacker Jalen Walker, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Warren, Kenneth Grant. I really think that this is a 2-player conversation. Will Campbell or Mikael Williams. They're both premium positions. They're both huge advantages to the 49ers need those spots filled. And you have to operate as if you're not going to be picking this high again. So if this is the last time, whether that's true or not, that's a different conversation. But I think for the 49ers, you need to have the idea that, like, come on, man. Like, we got to get a tackle or an edge or a defensive tackle. Like, those 3 positions, premium, you're picking pretty high up there. Oh, man. Mason Graham is gone. He's not there. But I do like Mason Graham. And he would be in the conversation as if he was here. How high did Mason Graham go? He went 7. This doesn't show. This just shows. It doesn't show where they went. It just shows that they went. So he's off the board. So he's not there. We got Niner Goat says Mikkel. All right, here we go. Campbell won the number 7 jersey at LSU. So that's huge. Number 7, number 18. You know, the playmaker, the captain, what it means to be LSU. And shoot, let's just real quick. Let's read into a little bit of Will Campbell's background. Okay. Born in Monroe. I spent a lot of time in Monroe myself. 5-star rated guy out of high school. His brother plays for Texas State and now at Texas A&M. I'm not going to hold that against him. He's been at LSU Tiger since 2023. Has started and played in all games. 2-time first-team All-SEC, second-team All-SEC. He won the Jacobs Blocking Trophy in 24, consensus All-American, has earned academic honor roll distinction. I mean, he's just awesome. And, yeah, can't wear the number 7 on the line of scrimmage because you have to have an ineligible number. But, Aaron, thank you. I got to add that to my notes. I didn't have that in there. My draft guide, our draft guide, the 49ers Rush, it's a team of us. It's constantly evolving. Kevin says Will Campbell right here, trade back. Man, I don't want to trade back because there's only 2. I want blue chip. And, I mean, maybe you could trade back one spot, but I'm not getting cute here because I want Campbell or I want Mikkel. That's it. We got Campbell. Campbell is an interior lineman. What? He's 6'6". 320. No, his feet are awesome. I'm not concerned. His length is there. The height is there. The athleticism. He does not struggle with the speed guys. He doesn't really. He hankers at it. No, I think Campbell is 100% going to play the tackle position. Now, you could slide him in. And I think that this is something that the Niners would make a lot of sense. If you do draft a tackle, Trent Williams comes back. I think most of us would say, well, we want a right tackle. That's fair. But worst case, man, you slide Campbell into left guard till Trent retires and kick him back out. That's not a loss. That's not a loss at all. But the film shows, in my opinion, the Niners are weird with their offensive linemen where they put everybody. And so they might be with you, Kawachiptu. But I have them as a tackle. O-line, Milroe, or Gentry, yeah, definitely not spending a first-round pick on a running back when we already have the highest-paid running back under contract for 3 more years with another running back in freaking Jordan Mason, who is leading the NFL in rushing, and Isaac Guerrero. We've got running backs. I'm not spending another one. We don't even run the ball anyway. All we do is throw the ball. Mikkel Williams, if we can't trade back. Williams, trade back for Simmons. Oh, where was Josh Simmons, offensive tackle? That's a possibility. And he's one of those, tweeners that could go, late first, early second. He's a possible trade up guy. I do like Josh Simmons out of Ohio State, though. I got to get a film done on him. Right here, D wins the Lombardi. Ooh, defense and run game are bread and butter. Mikkel does that for us. I'm not upset at either one. If the Niners are here, I wouldn't care. Tommy, give me a punter. I freaking love it, man. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Campbell, short arms. Yeah, we got to see we got to see what that is at the combine, and we'll adjust that accordingly. But the Niners already have the tackle at the beginning of the year. I know what's his name. Colton McKivitz had the shortest tackles of any, shortest arms of any starting tackle in the NFL Week 1. The Niners don't put a premium on that. Campbell need to protect the investment property. I like that. I don't think Banks or Campbell are blue chip. Man, that's crazy. Man, you're low on both linemen, dude. I disagree, but that's okay. Disagreements are a great thing, not a bad thing. You've convinced me, Campbell. At a still better free agent. There we go. Mikkel pushed the button. Oh, man, we got a little bit of a thing right here. Paul, appreciate the super chat. Says, is Campbell projected better at right tackle or left tackle for you? Yeah, I want to see. The combine's going to tell a lot. Now, here's the thing with Ole Miss, and this is true of a lot of offenses in the NCAA. Like, it's part of that Bryles, RPO, whatever. There's not a lot of 7-step drops, 5-step drops. there's not a lot of that elongated whatever. Now, the film I just finished, with LSU. Sorry, my bad. I mixed up. I'm doing too much tape at the back end. But it's a quick passing game there at LSU. It's a little bit more pro than Ole Miss is, but it's still not, man, it's quick. So you're not getting those traditional 7-step drops. You've got, I need to see what he does. Now, his kick slide, the few times he did a traditional kick slide, which isn't much, maybe 2 times in the entire first half versus Ole Miss, but it looked clean. It looked really, really clean. You can see him dragging and pellets in the turf, kicking up. You can see the cleats in the ground on the post step. Like usually whenever I'm grading tackles and whenever I first coached, I would always tell my players, I can close my eyes and tell you if your kick slide's good because you hear the slap, slide, slap, slide, slap, slide. And so I can tell you just by listening if you're doing it right. Now, whenever I grade the all 22, obviously it's silent, but I'm telling you, the few times I saw it, there was nothing that said this guy's going to get beat around the edge by speed guys consistently. That's the biggest thing from left tackle to right tackle. You put a little bit slower over there on the right side because it's not the quote-unquote blind side, right? So the quarterback can see it and whatever else. There is nothing I saw from Will Campbell's tape that would suggest he can't play left tackle. I did not see that at all. So I think that he could play both. Sometimes the fact that he's played exclusively on the left side for LSU, that's a little bit more of a like, man, I have more confidence he can play left guard than left tackle, but you've got to work him out. And that's what they're going to do at the combine and private workouts and all that. You got to see, because some guys can kick inside better than they can switch. Going from left side of the offensive line to right side, it's not for everybody. It really, really isn't. It really is not. There's no chance that we're drafting Gentry. I just cannot see it, Clarzard. Like, any chance Kyle want to upgrade the offense and draft? No. That's just but he's wasted so many picks before. We have the highest drafted kicker. We have the highest drafted punter. We've spent the most draft capital on wide receivers in the NFL. We spent the most salary cap capital on wide receivers in the NFL. So, yeah. So right here, I'm going to make the executive decision. It seems like the votes were split between Will Campbell and Mikael Williams. But my favorite thing about this draft is I think that there's pretty solid edge players in the second round. So I'm going to go Will Campbell, offensive tackle. I prefer Kelvin Banks, but I ain't upset at this. And at worst, he plays left guard for us next year. At best, he plays right tackle. And then when Trent retires, he bumps in. So I'm taking Will Campbell right there. Mikael Williams is amazing. Look at that. We got an A+. Thank you, Mock Draft Database, for validating my whatever. So now we're back on the clock at pick 43 in the second round. We got to trade here. I'm not doing this. 5th and 7th rounder, but we get picks next year. I don't want picks next year. No. Right here. Drop back picks next year. No. Drop back a full round picks next year. No. Not doing any of those. So we're not doing those. So now the 49ers are back on the clock. We took Will Campbell. Here's the best on the board. Tyler Booker, interior offensive line for Bama. Landon Jackson, edge player, Arkansas. See, this is one of the things that I keep like, there's edge guys available in the second round. Offensive lineman from Arizona. Some people have a tackle. Some people have them inside. Jonah Savanaye. I got to learn all the pronunciations. Offensive tackle, Josh Connerly at Oregon. We're not going tackle. Safety, linebacker, Jihad Ward. We got safety, Nick Amonwore. Princely. I like this. Another edge player. Now, what sucked is I picked the tape of Will Campbell versus Ole Miss so I could watch this matchup, Will Campbell versus Princely. I wrote down his pronunciation. I want to make sure I got this right. Uman Mielen. There we go. I practiced it. And then he only played one snap. I think he was injured. So, like, the whole reason why I picked that game was to watch these two go at each other, Will Campbell versus Princely, Uman Mielen. I got to say it as many times as I can before I mess it up. I like him a lot. Big dude, 6'6", 270, kind of built in that Charles Omenihu type where he can play everywhere. He's relentless. He's mean. I really, really like him. Trey Harris, wide receiver, no. Tight ends, there's some tight ends there. But I'm sitting here like, okay, Tyler Booker, I think, is more of a guard than a center. Landon Jackson versus I want an edge versus Princely Umanmielen. It takes me a while to say his name. It's just what it is. So let's read about Princely real quick. He's 23 years old, big dude. I mean, he's huge. And I really, really do like, oh no, I mixed him up with his teammate. I did. I'm making mistakes everywhere. Glad this is a live show. Jared Ivey is the 3rd to 4th round edge guy out of Ole Miss. He's the 6'6", 275 guy. See, it's early in draft season, guys. Princely Umanmielen is 6'4", 255. He's 23 years old, 1,800 plus snaps. He plays everywhere. Really, really fun player. His experience I have rated at a 9, versatility 4. He's an outside guy. A little bit smaller from the edge spot than what the 49ers usually go with. So let's look at Landon Jackson, 6'7", 280. So do you want that power, like buck end, right? That a lot of teams call it, that freaking plugger that can play everywhere. His versatility, you're thinking Eric Armstead, right? 6'7", 280. 1,500 plus snaps. He can play defensive tackle. He can play the 4 technique, 5 technique, outside. You can put him out the wide 9 if you want to, but this is just a freak. So my question is, do you want the traditional edge pass rusher, the smaller 6'4", 250 guy in Princely, or do you want the power kind of versatile Eric Armstead type? He's not Eric Armstead, but that type of guy. Yeah, I think it's down to those two. So like right here, I like this. Booker's a gap scheme guy. Yeah, I don't think he's a great fit for us. I don't have us a big need at guard. No small edge guys, says Rusty. We want the big guys. We have Bosa. Pair him with the other power guy. We've seen that work in the past. Anyone with interior defensive line worth a pick here. The run defense. So like that's the thing. Landon would be that. Landon would be power run, can kick inside. You can play him anywhere you want him. I think that would be huge right here. Jared Birch, tweener, defensive line edge. Yep. I like that. You can get him around later. I like that. Google is Skynet. Skynet went live? No way. Kevin says Landon Jackson. I'm leaning that way too. I just think that this is a premium player with an elite skill set. I would have been so happy if we took Darius Robinson in the 1st round last year out of Mizzou. That Landon Jackson's that guy now. Yeah, Paul says Landon should be the pick right there. I'm going Landon Jackson. So we're building the correct way in the trenches. We got to pick Will Campbell, offensive tackle. That's going to help Brock Purdy, going to help the run game, going to help everything. And we got Landon Johnson. So we've got our edges on the offensive defensive line set. And look at this. We come back on the board, and there's more defensive linemen. This draft, it's peppered. It is peppered with quality defensive linemen, 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds. LT Overton, edge, Alabama's there. Omar Norman Lott, defensive lineman, Tennessee. Quinn Ewers, God no. Cornerback, Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. Armand Mimbu, offensive lineman out of Missouri. Jordan Birch, there you go. Yeah, we talked about him right there. Jordan Birch still there. He's still there. Defensive lineman out of Oregon. Big dude. Now, this is a guy that I've seen a lot lately. Gary Zabel. He's an offensive tackle only from North Dakota State. And I know somebody just like threw up in their mouth whenever you heard that. But he's a small guy with a lot of versatility and experience. But we got our tackle. He is somebody that I think the Niners might be interested in later. But with us getting our tackle already, he's not important to us. We're going to move on. Corner, Azarahi Thomas out of Florida State. Like, there's some guys here. Josiah Stewart. Now, my thing is, and again, anytime I do this, I'm always like, okay, where is the center? Which is my number one need. My number one need as far as just how do you get a competent player at this position, and somebody out there saying Shanahan ain't going to trust the center. I get that, But that's why we have Jake Brendel, and we've had Jake Brendel. Literally ruined the game. You look at that Miami game, just finished all the draft tape on the offensive side, or all the breakdown tape on the offensive side. He ruined the entire game consistently. You're talking probably 4 possessions ruined alone by number 64, Jake Brendel, in that game. It was so bad. And all this talk about like, oh, well, Shanahan don't trust rookie centers. Well, we never take them, and look where we are. We're stuck. We are stuck. We are stuck. At some point, you got to. I would prefer to get a free agent, but I don't care. Even if we do get a free agent, I still want to draft somebody to develop. I like Drake Nugent. He's an undrafted free agent with a very low ceiling. At his best, he's going to be Jake Brendel. I would prefer him over Jake Brendel, but I want somebody that could play the position. And you look right here, Jake Majors, they've got him ranked 128. The center from Texas, he's a fit. Now, I like Jonah Monham. They got him ranked 166 overall. They're really low. I'm walking out of almost every mock draft I have with Jake Majors or Jonah Monheim. They've got him ranked really low. I'm going to wait one more. I'm going to wait. And if our compensation pick, because this is pick 75, we got pick 100 and pick 112. So that comp pick, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to use it on a center on almost every mock draft I do. I can't help it. I really, really can't. So I don't think we want another edge. I would love an interior defensive lineman. And there's some guys here. So let's see what we could find. Omar Norman Lott, 6'3", 315. Yep, that's a guy that fits kind of what we do. He hasn't played very much, though. This is kind of the thing with Tennessee guys. Only 900 snaps in his career. I don't like that. The 49ers have shown that they want to go after these guys with experience. Jordan Birch, I haven't done my draft write-up on him just yet. Nazir, I've got a lot of work to do. But you've got some interior guys that are there. I like Omar Norman Lott, but I'm just like, golly, I don't like that he doesn't have experience. That's a problem. And so let's look at Jordan Birch out of Oregon, defensive lineman. It says there's a value. We're picking at 75, okay? He's at 68. I'm trying to open up his draft profile. It's not letting me for some reason. That's frustrating. My site went down. But hey, we're paying attention to the names that are available. Gosh, cornerback, we need a corner. Maxwell Hairston. Let's see if we've got his. I can't wait to get this completely finished. I'm very, very excited about this. 6'1", 175, too small for us. Safety, too early for us. What about Darian Porter? Cornerback out of Iowa State. 6'4", 200, doesn't fit what we do. All right, let's try this Azahayi Thomas. Because, again, anytime the 49ers draft a corner or a safety, they are almost always close to 6 foot, 200 pounds. Okay, Azahayi Thomas out of Florida State, 6'2", 198. Now, that's pre-combine. And I can guarantee you he's not going to be 6'2". He's going to be 6'1" at best, because they go with all that kind of whatever. So I'm not upset, because one, we've got not one but 2 guys, Renardo Green, and we've got our thumper Tatum Bethune that were teammates with this cat. We've done a lot of tape on him already. So I'm going to go corner a little bit early, but I think we need, right now we have 2 stud corners in Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green. We still need one more. He fits our draft profile. He's got a better athletic outside build, and I think that's where he will fit, especially if he's at that 6'2", 198. He's probably 6'1", 190. But either way, that still fits what we do. So I'm going to go cornerback. Azahayi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Thomas out of Florida State. So we went offensive tackle, edge, corner. He's going to come in and compete for that spot. And now I'm on the clock, and I told you guys what I'm going to do with this comp pick. I'm going Jake Majors, the highest available center possible. I'm getting that pick. I'm taking it. It's done. I'm not even discussing it. I'm not looking at the board. Don't care. So We got some trades up here. I'm going to reject those. So through the first 4 picks, Will Campbell, offensive tackle LSU, Landon Jackson, edge Arkansas, Azariah Thomas, cornerback Florida State, and interior and center. He's the center only prospect, Jake Majors, out of Texas. That's our first 3 picks. I ain't mad about this at all. Now, before we get to the second half of this draft, make sure you participate in the 12 Days of Christmas over at MyBookie. While other books make promises, MyBookie delivers. This holiday season, the deck is in your favor with MyBookie's 12 Days of Christmas. Festive lineup and can't miss opportunities for bettors to cash in. Risk-free Thursdays. NFL bets that you could bet, and if you don't hit, guess what? You don't lose any money. Super Boost and free bets are out there as well. Weekly casino giveaways. It only costs 50 cents to spend on bet soft slots to enter. I'm telling you, at MyBookie, it's not just about taking your bets. It's about giving you the tools to elevate your game with the road to New Orleans, bowl games, Christmas Day sports betting, NFL action, NBA doubleheaders. It's your season to win. And with the 12 Days of Christmas, which starts on December 19th, so don't wait, lock it in today. Use promo code 49ERS, 49ers, with your first deposit. MyBookie will give you a little extra to start your holiday hot. There's a reason MyBookie has been the go-to bettor and the betting sports book of the 49ers Rush podcast for 10 years. 10 years, guys, they have been doing this. Whether it's UFC, NFL, college ball, basketball, you name it. Now, rollovers do apply, and if you have questions, make sure to ask their customer service. They are A++. But whatever you bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, here we go. We are back on the clock at 112. And so you got 112, 137, 186. Those are the next kind of range of our next 3 picks. Now, we've gotten tackle, edge, corner, center. Still need defensive linemen. That's probably the biggest glowing need, unless you're Kyle Shanahan, in which case you need a kicker, a punter, and more wide receivers and running backs. That's all he cares about. I will never draft a kicker or a punter in a mock draft that I ever do. Just so you know, that's just going to happen. That is just going to happen. I'm never going to do it. All right. Top of the board, we've got an edge player, Braden Swinson, LSU. This is my first draft on Mock Draft Database, which is fun because you're seeing some new names. Wide receiver Jalen Royals, Utah State. Fun player, fun like. I love the Aggies up there, man. That's awesome. And again, we're drafted wide receivers. There's no doubt about it. It's just when and where. I would prefer later. If we're going to draft a first round pick wide receiver and then not use them for most of the season when it mattered, man, they completely ignored our 4th round pick who's been promising. Yeah, we do not need. I want veteran wide receivers, but I know Shanahan's going to get his wish. Linebacker Barrett Carter. I do think linebacker's a need. Now, the hope is you bring back Dre Greenlaw, but even if you do, man, you still need help there. Tatum Bethune, he's a run guy only. That might be a Sam Backer and that's it. You kept him all season. That dude's been so bad on special teams. He just can't play in space still. I think linebacker is a need because you showed what happened with poor linebacker play. Now, D. Winters is promising, and I want to re-sign Dre Greenlaw. But Barrett Carter, I think that makes sense. Jackson Dart, I know a lot of people want him. I want a high upside quarterback. Jackson Dart's a little small. Ollie Gordon, the second running back. Shanahan probably likes him. I don't, just because I don't want a running back this high. Caden Prather, wide receiver Maryland. Lander Barton. I think somebody talked about him in the chat. Oh, there we go. Google. Is Landon Barton there? He is there. The Ute. So whenever you talk about Lander, one freaking awesome name, 6'4", 236. 21 years old. That is the Fred Warner build. The 49ers have 2 linebacker types. There's the huge height, weight, speed specimen. That's what Lander is. And then there's the small, short, stocky thumper. D. Winters, Dre Greenlaw role. That's what it is. I'm not upset at this pick here. We're picking 112. I don't think it's too much of a reach. I do think linebacker would be a very, very important pick. Right here, Skynet's going crazy. Yeah, 6'4", 236, excellent in coverage. It's a perfect height, weight, speed, build prototype that the 49ers have. I'm not upset at it. We've seen how bad we've been whenever we had bad linebacker play. Little bit of a luxury pick here, but hey, Skynet, you got me. We're going linebacker out of Utah, Lander Barton. Man, could you imagine having a BYU linebacker and a Utah linebacker? They're going to be going at each other's throats, but I ain't upset about that. Yeah, I'm not going to be taking any of these trades. Not at the back end of it. We've got plenty of picks. I want to see what we can get with where we're at. Here we go. What's up? It's not Lucky One. Appreciate you. Just watched your last video. Excited to see it live. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And if it's your first time, we're going to be here all off season. I know a lot of shows kind of dip down and do fewer shows. We don't really. We keep going. So this is episode number, good Lord, 1,294. We've been doing this a minute. We ain't going nowhere soon. So we've got a lot of positions filled. We need defensive line. We're doing this. The number one pick, the number one rated on our board is, or on mock draft databases board, is Nazir Stackhouse, all name team out of Georgia. We're just going to plug and play here. We're doing it. We're going defensive tackle, Nazir Stackhouse out of Georgia. And we're back on the clock. Now, this is something that I always want to do. At some point, I want to check. We're here in the 6th round now. This is pick 185. I want to look and see, are there any... Oh, dude, is Cade Klubnik coming out? The Clemson quarterback? Because if he is, I'm taking him. They've got him ranked 333. I don't know if that's where he's going to be at. What's Donovan Smith's height, weight profile? He's 6'5", 235. I'm swinging. It might be early for him. I don't care. It's a 6th-round pick. My core belief is if you don't have a top 5 quarterback, you're always trying to get one. I personally don't think Brock Purdy is currently a top 5 quarterback. Can he become one? I think it's possible, but I'm taking gambles and flyers every single year on huge height, weight, speed specimens, kind of that Trey Lance mold. I know that didn't work out, but I want those guys. Brock Purdy's great, and I'm signing him to an extension, and he's my quarterback of the future. But I'm going to keep throwing darts at height, weight, speed quarterbacks with strong arms that could possibly be that in the future. That's just my own belief. I'm taking Donovan Smith, quarterback there out of Houston. Dude, I'm liking the way this draft is taken out. We're getting some premium spots. I like the positions. All right, now we're back on the clock. And what are the positions we have not taken? We don't have a running back. We don't have a wide receiver. We don't have a tight end. Let's go look at the tight end spot. Oh, Eli Stowers. I'm a big Vandy guy. Mitchell Evans, tight end Notre Dame. John Michael Gillenberg, Wyoming. Caden Precorn out of Mississippi. I've heard some good things, and I like Jackson Hawes, Georgia Tech. But let's look at Eli Stowers. Let's see what his height weight is, because I really want somebody that can go block. He's 6'4", 235. He's a little smaller for me than I would have liked. Let's see as I keep looking. Mitchell Evans, 6'5", 260. That's what we're doing. We're going tight end Notre Dame, 6'5", 260. That tight end 2 extra blocker. I'm tired of seeing our tight end 2, Eric Saubert, out there. Get Mitchell Evans, tight end 2. He comes in. He's the blocking guy with a little bit of upside. Google says, the Wyoming guy is a freak. I haven't studied him yet. We're going to get in on that for sure. So we got our tight end. All right. Now, do we throw Shanahan a bone and get him a running back? You know he's going to want one. You've got Trevor Etienne, Jaden Ott, the Cal Bear, baby. Why not? Let's do it. You know he's going to draft one. I'm going running back. We're at the back end. We're just having fun now. That's what that is. Now, whenever you get to the back end of the roster, you're never really too upset with double dipping at positions. The Niners have been notorious for this. And every time they do it, whoever they draft second is usually the player that wins out. Jaw Joyner, shout out Dave Chappelle. I wonder what Jaw thinks. What is on Jaw's mind? I'm going edge, Jaw Joyner, Minnesota. I think we need so many edge players. So I'm taking that. We haven't taken a safety yet. We got interior offensive line. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do safety out of Virginia, Jonas Sanker. And there we go. Our draft is completed. Let's see how we did. Don't hold back on us now. Will Campbell, offensive tackle LSU. Love that pick. Landon Jackson, maybe my favorite pick of the draft in the second round, the edge player. Then we start just taking kind of flyers and, Azarahi Thomas, cornerback, Florida State. The third, Jake Major, center. Love that. Landon Barton. You guys talked me into that one. Linebacker, Utah. Nazir Stackhouse, D-line, Georgia. Donovan Smith, quarterback, Houston. I'm going to take him in a lot of drafts. I need to do some breakdowns on him. Mitchell Evans, tight end, Notre Dame. Perfect fit. We need that blocker. Jaden Ott, running back, Cal. Jaw Joyner, edge, Minnesota. And safety, Jonas Sanker, Virginia. Probably the most unrealistic, if I want to go that way, is that we didn't get a wide receiver. Shanahan's got a draft right here. Needs speed at wide receiver, but we have speed. We don't play him. We have a guy that runs a 4.3. We don't play him. I don't know if we need more young guys. We've paid everybody and we've drafted everybody. If a lot of times we keep 6. I mean, the 3 we're keeping Ayuk. We're keeping Juwan Jennings. I don't think Debo gets traded or cut like a lot of people do. We're keeping Pearsall. We're keeping Cowing. That's 5. I want a veteran wide receiver because we only keep 6. Sometimes we only keep 5. Do not draft more wide receivers. You don't trust them, Shanahan. You got 2 young pups to work with. Get a vet that can play right away. Rusty said, this has been fun. I got to hit the road. You're the man. Right here, Ice Cold Arts. Bias to Hawks because I'm a GT grad. What's up, man? I was this close to being a preferred walk-on back at Georgia Tech. Whenever I graduated, I changed my mind late. Still regret it. That's okay. Georgia Tech run game is next level, but that's more of an O-line than tight end. I do like Hawks, man. Kawachipto, grade C. No impact defensive tackle. That's the negative. But Landon Jackson, he would be that defensive tackle in any pass rush situation. And I think he could play defensive tackle early too. I would have no problem with him. So but yeah, I do agree with you there. We'll still have trash defense. I like the Landon Jackson pick. I like the corner pick. I like the linebacker pick. I like the Nazir Stackhouse late, just a flyer guy. And then you got Jaw as a flyer. You've got some dart throws. And this is the conversation, the opportunity cost that takes place. If we took what would have happened if we went Mikael Williams early? The defense would have been perfect. But then the offensive line and scoring 17 points a game, I think, stays. I wish we had more picks. 11 is a lot, and we're picking top 11, but still, you have to pick your trade-offs. And that was already right there. The Niners need a true free safety. We do not draft or grade free safeties. And they just asked last week, Pet Rock, the defensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen, they just asked him last week, can you talk about safeties and how he's like, you have to play both for us. You have to be interchangeable. You cannot just be one or the other for us. And so I don't think that they're going to change, which is sad. But yeah, I'm with you. I am completely with you. Need bigger DTs? Yes, we do. I agree. Cowing's mad, but dude, he's played well. It's just we don't trust him. No, Lee, is Deontay Johnson a fit for next year? No, we are never taking another vet that has quit on a team. You look at why the Ravens let him go. He did the Devondre Campbell thing. They just didn't publicize it. No, Deontay Johnson, stay the hell away from this team. No. He runs good routes. Nope. Jada won another Ayuk jersey. This one is signed. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. He should have signed it, Diva. Come on, bro. Come on, man. He's hurt right now. But yeah, I'm with you. So I do like the draft. But man, it's already like, even though we got I think, top 8 pick in Will Campbell, we're still not happy. And we're not going to be happy. Like, you only get so many picks. But if we can go offensive tackle or edge or defensive tackle, that first pick, oh, man. Right here, Monkey Boy. If we get a new DC, how much do they have on picks? We don't. Yeah, he's nobody's going to hire Nick Swartzen but us. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we switch up a little bit of our defense. I doubt it. I want to stay with the 4-man front, not necessarily committed to the wide 9. But there's going to be some guys out there, so we'll see. We'll see. But this has been fun, and I'm trying my hardest just to do as much positive, forward-thinking shows right now, because it's rough out there on these streets for 49ers, whatever. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And I'm just trying my hardest to get these names out there so that we can start to have hope, because I think hope's important, especially whenever your team sucks and not going to the playoffs. But I think hope's important. The future's important, because that's what we're here for, the long haul. And that's just what we're going to be. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. And if you did like it, hit subscribe, come back, join us. We'll be here all year in the off season and all that fun stuff. But that's going to do it for us today. You guys are awesome. And just want to say thank you guys for having fun with us and disagreeing and arguing and putting your opinions out there. I love it. We got a lot of work to do over here on tape, but go check out the Will Campbell tape on the 49ersrush.com and our Patreon page. Both links are in the description. Already got tape up of Kelvin Banks, and I want to know, who do you guys like more, Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks? After you watch that, go watch some tape. Let me know what you think, and until next time, stay strong, faithful.